To really grasp these constant shifts in our bodies and in nature, we have to look at the two opposing forces that make up absolutely everything. You've definitely heard these terms before, but let's strip away the mystery. Yin is all about the dark, the cold, the quiet. It's descending, and it represents rest. Yang, on the other hand, is bright, warm, active, rising, and just packed with energy. Now, a massive misconception is that one of these is good and the other is bad. That is totally false. They are complementary opposites. You literally need the quiet rest of yin to have the active energy of yang. In a healthy body, these two traits are always flowing, always adjusting, and working together to maintain perfect stability.
I worked as a banker for 30 years, but now I work as an acupuncturist.
Before you grab another packet of vitamin C for that sniffle, we're diving into something absolutely fascinating today. We're unpacking the centuries-old wisdom of Eastern medicine to figure out exactly why we get sick and, honestly, more importantly, how we heal. Now, I know Eastern medicine can sometimes sound a bit mysterious or packed with complicated jargon, but today we're keeping it in very simple English. We're going to look at clear, totally logical concepts that you can actually observe in your own daily life. By the end of this explainer, you're going to look at your body, your energy, and even your next common cold in a completely different light.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll be covering 1. Nature and human connection. 2. The balance of yin and yang. 3. Changes in time and seasons. 4. When the balance breaks. 5. Good energy versus bad energy. And finally, 6. Restoring your natural balance. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Nature and human connection. Humans as a mini-universe.
We have to start with the absolute foundation of this entire philosophy. You see, Western medicine often looks at the body as a separate machine, kind of fixing parts in isolation. But Eastern medicine, it takes a completely different approach. It basically states that humans and the natural world are one entity, and a change in one element affects the whole. Think about it. In this view, humans, animals, plants, the weather, they aren't just sharing space. They're interconnected elements of a single, giant system. You aren't separate from your environment. You're a living, breathing reflection of it. I mean, think about how your joints might ache right before a rainstorm, or how your mood just effortlessly lifts on a sunny spring day. A shift in the outside world creates a literal shift in your inside world.
Moving on to Section 2, the balance of yin-yang, the universal forces. To really grasp these constant shifts in our bodies and in nature, we have to look at the two opposing forces that make up absolutely everything. You've definitely heard these terms before, but let's strip away the mystery. Yin is all about the dark, the cold, the quiet. It's descending, and it represents rest. Yang, on the other hand, is bright, warm, active, rising, and just packed with energy. Now, a massive misconception is that one of these is good and the other is bad. That is totally false. They are complementary opposites. You literally need the quiet rest of yin to have the active energy of yang. In a healthy body, these two traits are always flowing, always adjusting, and working together to maintain perfect stability.
Which brings us to Section 3. Changes in time and seasons. Our continuous rhythms.
Yin and yang are definitely not static. They operate on a very predictable, continuous rhythm, and you can actually feel this cycle in your own body. Let's start with yang, that warm, active energy. It naturally peaks when the sun is highest at noon and during the summer solstice. That's when you have the most outward energy. But eventually, the sun sets, right? Yin, the cool, resting energy, takes over and peaks at midnight and during the winter solstice. That's when your body naturally craves deep, cold rest. And right in the middle, at sunrise or during the spring and autumn equinox, the two forces are in equal, perfect balance. When you actually live in harmony with this rhythm, resting when it's yin time and being active when it's yang time, your body absolutely thrives.
Section 4. When the balance breaks. Let's look at the actual causes of illness.
So if perfect health is a balanced scale of yin and yang flowing with the seasons, what exactly causes us to feel sick? Why do we get fevers or catch a cold? Well, when we're perfectly healthy, our internal yin and yang levels are completely even. The cooling and warming forces keep each other in check. Perfect harmony.
But illness happens when the scale tips entirely. Take a situation where the yin level is totally normal, but the yang energy has just shot way up. In Eastern medicine, this is known as an excess. One side has become far too strong. If yang, which remember is heat and activity, becomes excessive, your whole system goes into chaos. You literally have too much fire. I mean, it perfectly explains why we call angry people hot-headed, right? You might experience a high fever, inflammation, or terrible insomnia.
The balance can also break the other way. Sometimes one side becomes too weak, creating what's called a deficiency. The active yang energy is normal, but the cooling yin has dropped dangerously low. Because yin provides your cooling and your rest, lacking it means your body just can't recover. You might feel chronic fatigue, night sweats, or this deep, lingering weakness. Diagnosing these very specific imbalances is a major absolute priority in Eastern medicine so they can be corrected.
Moving right along to Section 5, good energy versus bad energy, the body's battlefield.
Once that fundamental yin-yang balance is broken, your defenses are totally compromised, and your body turns into an actual battlefield. It's a clash between two very real types of energy. On one side, we have good energy, traditionally called zong-qi. Think of this as your immune system, your internal strength, your natural defense shield. On the other side, we have bad energy, called shi-qi. This represents the external forces trying to make you sick. It could be a virus, bad bacteria, extreme weather, or even severe stress, the invader.
The crucial point here is how these two interact. If your good energy is robust, you won't get sick. It's that simple. Even if bad energy attacks, your shield effortlessly repels it. However, if your internal balance is already off, say you've been working crazy hours, skipping sleep, eating poorly, your good energy weakens. And when that defense drops, the bad energy easily invades your system, takes hold, and boom, full-blown illness.
Finally, Section 6, restoring your natural balance and healing naturally.
Now that we know how the invaders get in, how do we actually fight them off and heal? Well, it happens in a very structured way. Step 1 is always diagnosing the specific imbalance. Is it an excess of heat, a deficiency of rest? Once they nail that down, Step 2 is using targeted treatments, like specific herbs or acupuncture, to actively drive out and weaken that bad energy. This is known as qi. But they don't stop there. Step 3 is just as vital. They support and boost your good energy, a process called fuzheng. Rather than just dropping a chemical bomb on the disease, the ultimate goal here is to empower your body's own natural resistance to bounce back and maintain its own harmony going forward.
So, here's my final thought for you. The next time you feel a cold coming on, or you feel that deep, unexplainable fatigue, I challenge you to look at it differently. Don't just view it as some random breakdown. Instead, ask yourself, what part of your life has lost its balance? Have you pushed way too hard on the active yang and totally neglected the quiet rest of yin? By simply paying attention to this balance, you hold the key to restoring your own natural energy. Thanks for exploring this with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.
I worked as a banker for 30 years, but now I work as an acupuncturist.